We really started the foundation to give back to the community, to meet and assist local Kern County families that were going through and are going through what we went through.
You just heard Chris Wilson talking about his up-close and personal reason for starting Tigerfight. Chris was born and raised here in Bakersfield, California. He studied at Bakersfield College and Fresno State. He is a construction project manager for SC Anderson and founded the Tigerfight Foundation in 2015. He saw a need of the community for families that needed additional financial support when undergoing pediatric blood cancer treatment. Since April of 2015, Tigerfight has provided $135,000 in financial assistance to 160 Kern County families. In addition, they also support other local nonprofits as well as the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. In today's show, we discuss how Tigerfight financially supports local families who are having treatment for leukemia or lymphoma. Later in the show, we talk about Tigerfight's upcoming golf tournament at Stockdale Country Club, and then be sure to stay tuned to see whether or not Chris is either a Dodgers fan or a Giants baseball fan.
Welcome back to the Our 2 Cents podcast, the show where your local professionals sit down with an array of guests to hear their story and impart some wisdom for both business and life-improving skills. This is your place to hear business and community leaders discuss relevant topics that matter to you.
And welcome to the show today. My name is John Duffield. Before we get into today's episode, I would like to encourage our followers to check out our website. It is a great way to listen to episodes, find out more about the other hosts, and sign up for our newsletter. Today, I'm happy to have in our studio, I've got two guests today. I've got Chris Wilson from Tigerfight, and then I've got Kyle Jones, who's also from Tigerfight, in one of our podcast members, if you will. Chris, happy to have you joining us today. Thank you for being here.
Hey, John, thanks for having me.
Good. So I can't wait to get into some of today's topics with you, but before we start, go back and tell me what inspired you to start the Tigerfight organization.
Well, it all started in 2008 when our son, at 18 months old, was diagnosed with a rare form of leukemia. And we kind of took it in stride, went right down to UCLA the day after diagnosis. Our journey really started from there. He had an aggressive form of leukemia, which required a bone marrow transplant. And luckily for us, we were graced and blessed with his twin sister, who was a perfect match for a bone marrow donation. So that happened in March of 2009, in and out of the hospital, in the months to follow. It was a struggle, and it was a hard thing for us to go through as a family. Luckily, we had a lot of support, a lot of family support, and a lot of community support, helped us get through that at the time.
Absolutely. I cannot imagine anything more emotional as a parent than to have to go through something like that.
Yeah, it was a rough road, but really from day one, we just looked forward, and we just took it one day at a time, and then 1 week at a time, and then 1 month at a time, and we made small and long-term goals for ourselves. And today, yeah, he's a healthy 14-year-old, 8th grader, and is playing sports and enjoying life. So
that's perfect.
We're extremely blessed, beyond blessed. And so, as we were involved in kind of the tail end of his initial treatment, we started going to different events that the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society was holding here in Bakersfield in Kern County. And we started meeting other families that were going through or that had gone through the same thing that we had gone through. And we saw a need in the community for some additional financial support.
Right.
The different, nonprofits here locally, they can only do so much. And the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, though they really provide life-saving research for blood cancers and various other types of cancers, they really can't provide, monetary assistance to, a certain family, that's going through this. So that's why we really started the foundation, is to give back to the community, to meet and assist local Kern County families that were going through and are going through what we went through.
One way you're doing that, I know that you guys have a fundraiser coming up, right? A golf tournament that's coming up here at the start of March. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's the first of our 3 events of the year, and it is our Tigerfight Invitational. This is the 4th year having this event. This year scheduled for March 4th. It's a Friday morning at 8:30 at the beautiful Stockdale Country Club. It's a fun event, and I'm not just saying that because I'm I'm part of the committee that runs it. We've received a lot of great feedback from participants over the years. We tweak it a little bit every year to try to make it a little bit bigger and a little bit better. But for the most part, it kind of stands on its own with Stockdale and the beautiful course that they have and the amenities that the Stockdale staff assists us with. We've got a great committee. Kyle Jones is the chair of our committee. He has been from day one. Kyle is one of our foundation board members. When we had talked about doing this type of event, I think it fell, right into Kyle's wheelhouse as to, hey, let me run with this. And I was more than happy to let one of our board members run and chair this committee.
Yeah, Kyle gets his mail over at Stockdale Country Club, doesn't he?
He does.
Not yet, man. One day though, John. Don't you laugh? But when you see me at the course more than this office, then life is going to be very
life's
good.
Blessed, right? Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I know you do this golf tournament, but then you do some other events during the year. Tell us about those.
We do. We have a casino night that we've been holding since 2009. And the casino night is typically scheduled for the second Saturday of June. This year we have it on the calendar for June 11th. And we hold that at the Padre Hotel, where we have the entire second floor of the Padre. All of the banquet rooms, all of the exterior areas, and it's a fun event. I think because we unfortunately had to skip the last 2 years. I'm trying to think what number we're on. I believe we're on number 11 or number 12 as far as how many years we've had this
continuous.
tournament.
Yeah, well, except for the two COVID. Right?
Yeah, and it started back when we were still going through treatment. Part of kind of what we were talking about earlier is friends and family. They wanted to raise money for our family. They knew what we were going through and the struggle of driving down to UCLA and back and staying down there sometimes. So they organized and held a poker tournament at Luigi's, and that poker tournament raised a good amount of money. And at the time, I kind of told everybody, we have this goal in the fall to participate in this Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Light the Night Walk. Let's have half of the money we raised from this first event just go to that. So half the money we raised from the first event went to the Light the Night Walk. We continued having this poker tournament at Luigi's. It morphed into a casino night, and we were raising upwards of between $50,000 and $60,000, and all of it was going to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which was wonderful. And then we started the foundation in 2015. We still provide assistance to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I'm on their local Central California committee, and it's been great. It's been great working with them in tandem. We utilize their assets and their resources to help provide us with some applications, because we don't have anyone on staff at the Tigerfight Foundation. So we rely on the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, UCLA, Valley Children's, CBCC here locally to provide us with the applications that we receive throughout the year that our board reviews and
that are
approves.
Ultimately the beneficiaries of the fundraising that you do. Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
And that's what changed in 2015, right, Chris? Correct me if I'm wrong. It went from all proceeds going to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, plus now Chris had this new element, which was giving directly to families going through
direct
pediatric
sponsorship.
Yes,
if you will.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where we founded the foundation and the 503c, and we were able to do that. So it's been great. I mean, thus far, since April of 2015, we've provided $135,000 to 160 local Kern County families.
Wow.
As long as a family is going through treatment, they could just be newly diagnosed, or they're still going to Madera for treatment once a month or even once a year. As long as they're still going through treatment, they can submit an application to us annually. We haven't denied an application yet.
An initial donation is $1,250, correct?
I believe it's $1,200.
$1,200, okay.
Exactly, yeah.
And then you said as long as they're still going through treatment annually, they can reapply. And then what is the second?
It's $850.
$850, okay.
Yeah, it's $850.
Yeah.
So as long as they're going through treatment, we'll write them a check and send them a check out for $850. And for any of the checks that come out of our foundation, we provide a little Tigerfight backpack, a box of Dewar's Tiger Chews. It's the 50-50 flavored chews that they have. They call them the Tiger Chews.
Orange and white.
And a little stuffed tiger animal that I think the kids like. And it's fun. It's just not a check. We kind of send out a little package, and it's been fun doing that. We've received a lot of great reception from that.
Absolutely. So tell me, I mean, and now I know what the motivation behind starting the organization was. Obviously, something that you're passionate about from the heart. What have you learned about the disease, and what have you learned about people since that point in time?
It's ongoing. The treatment is ongoing. If I would have been diagnosed with what my son was diagnosed with in the mid-'70s when I was 2, I wouldn't be here right now. And that's the plain fact. It's progressed so much over the last 40 years and over the last 10 years that, where the research is, it's leaps and bounds where it was prior to that. And there's new studies done every month and every year. Our son was on a case study, and all that for him was they just took another 1 or 2 vials of blood, and he had to go in for a few more consultations. But it's life-changing what they're doing right now. It was a death sentence, and now it's still not fun, but the treatment that they have in place is great.
Now, it's good that they're making inroads to that. It feels like, kind of on the cusp with the way that genomics are going, that someday we're going to find some solutions to some of these cancers, and not soon enough when your own child is involved with it, right?
Certainly, yeah.
The cool thing is that there's a ton of money in research in pediatric cancer, and there's been a lot of progress in treatment of that, which obviously makes sense. I mean, if we're going to take care of anyone, we need to take care of our children, right?
Right.
So I don't think it's progress as much in treatment of cancer for adults and elderly people, for example, which, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of change and a lot of that's coming too. But I love the fact that our society in whole has rallied around children.
Yeah.
And because they're the most purest, beautiful things we got. So.
Yeah. And Kyle, tell us how you ended up becoming involved with Tigerfight.
So I got involved after going to one of the casino night events, and then I think Fauci is the one who pitched it to me. I think you got your approval.
Yeah. Chris
kind of anointed him and said, you may go and ask him. And then he did. And so I said, yes. But why I was so intrigued and interested about it was actually the casino night. And of course, it's a fun night, music and drinking and food and, auctions and raising money. That's all fun. But what drew me to it was, one, the aspect of the foundation that gave money directly to the family, right? There's no staff, as Chris indicated, on the Tigerfight. There's no one's making any money. Everything goes directly to the families. So that was a big turn on for me. It's like I knew exactly where it was going, and it was great to see those families benefit from all the money raised in the community. And 2 was the community aspect of it. That event, and still to this day, and even the golf tournament we're putting on in March, it's all about our community. I mean, Dwarves is a big sponsor. SC Anderson, Joe Peters, musician, played there last year. Tammy Milchak with KGT, she emceed it. Garrow Ellis has emceed it a few times, or with MoneyWise. Sure. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, the lighting company. Who else? I mean, every vendor that we use.
Yeah. Freestyle Entertainment,
right?
The Padre itself.
Padre. Mm-hmm.
It's a large group of people that put that type of event on, and it's like Kyle said, it's good local Bakersfield, Kern County businesses, and I like it that way.
Yeah, and then we have raffles. We do silent auctions there at the event. We also do silent auctions at the golf tournament, live auctions. All that's donated by local individuals and businesses, and so the money is raised by local people. It's put together through local businesses, and it goes back to local families.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love about Bakersfield. Sometimes you hear that Bakersfield doesn't have enough culture or whatever it happens to be.
That's our culture.
But it really is one of our culture, is that we really do get behind some of the nonprofit organizations we have here, and people put their heart and soul into it, and it becomes one of their entertainment, sources, when they go. So an event like golf tournament or your casino night are fantastic from that perspective. I have to say that the odds of me playing in a golf tournament on Friday and March 4th are probably not very good.
Yeah, we miss out a lot of CPAs.
Right, yeah.
Clint Bayer, do you know Clint over at Brown Armstrong?
Yeah, I know. I don't know him in person, but I know who he is.
Yeah, so he's on the committee as well, and he always gives us a hard time. He's like, so I'm on the committee, I'm helping putting it together, but I never get to play in it. It's like, well, get a new job.
We're more suited for that June event. So
right.
Yeah, chase me for that June event. So
well, you've actually contributed to this before.
I have.
Yeah.
So, no, I have financially, but I haven't been there ever. So, and you probably don't care about that part, but just need the cash, not the people. So
no, we need both. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit more about the tournament itself, because when this episode goes live, it's going to be some of the first advertising for for it. So there's going to be definitely plenty of opportunities for our listeners to get involved.
Sure.
But let's talk about the third event a little bit so we can kind of wrap up the yearly,
Yeah, the third event, which we started for the first time last year, we called it Tigerfight Bottle Rock, and that's a fall event that we would like to continue. And we had it at the Padre Hotel. It was a smaller scaled event than our casino night, but we did have it on the second floor. We had Joe Peters played along with Boone's Farm Trio, two wonderful artists and groups. We had live music on the patio. We had 4 wineries that provided wine, and it was more of a just low key. Here's some wine. Let's have a silent. We had great silent auction items. I think 15 or so silent auction items. It was
really good ones for that.
We did.
The community really stepped up for that one.
We had some trips and some experiences which we like. But for our first one, I thought it went really well. Our goal is to continue that on this year and in future years.
And so before we get to the golf tournament, because we have a large listener base, Chris, if this strikes a chord with somebody and says, hey, our friend so-and-so's son just got, what's the best way to reach out to the foundation and get assistance or the support that is needed?
Yeah, on our website, tigerfight.org, there is a drop-down menu for patient services. And from there, you can download, print our applications in both English and Spanish, and it gives you a direct email address to be able to fill those out and send those in. And we do require a patient service care provider to sign off on those applications. But once that's done, our foundation board reviews those within a matter of days, and we try to provide assistance to those families within a week or 2 weeks after receiving the application.
So in addition to your website, Facebook or Instagram, any of those?
We have it all.
Yeah. Where would we find you at Instagram?
You can search for us. I don't know our IG name exactly, but just do a Tigerfight search and same thing with Facebook. And both of them we try to keep up with as much as possible, especially when it's upcoming with the event season. Right.
Yep. Give me one more pitch on give me one more recap, if you will, on the golf tournament, just so you can have your plug on that.
Let me take that one because I want to make sure everyone has an opportunity to get involved in many ways possible. So we limit it to 32 teams. As Chris was kind of saying, when I decided to do this, I wanted to make it an event that obviously the main goal is to raise as much money as possible for the foundation, but also make it fun for the people who are actually contributing. And I played a lot of golf tournaments. I play a lot of golf. And one of the things that was frustrating, even though it's for a good cause and that the money's going to a good place, is, you got like 60 teams playing. You got 4 on each hole. You got, carts parked up by the green. You're playing 7 hours of golf, and again, that's fun. It's still, to me,
I want for guys like me. Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to put something on that was more of like make it feel like you're really in a tournament. So we have a limited number of teams. There's 32 teams available. So as I said, when this goes live, we may have a couple teams sold, but it always sells out. We've never not had 32 teams. So if you want to sign up quick. The cost for a foursome is $1,000, so $250 a person, and that gets you entry into the tournament, your golf cart, a breakfast burrito, golf, a tea prize. We have a Bloody Mary bar and enough beer and water out on the course to choke a chicken, so to speak. So that's what you get for your money. And we also, Chris, if you want to take the sponsorships and let us know what we have available for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Some great sponsorship opportunities again this year. We've got T sign sponsors. We either have the one for $250 or the 3 for $500, which is a good deal. We still have a closest to the hole sponsor open. That's $500. Longest drive sponsor is $500. Our breakfast burrito bar sponsor, that's $500. Our Bloody Mary bar sponsor is $1,500. And then our lunch sponsor, which is always a good one, that is up and it's available at $2,500. We do have a cart sponsor, but both our cart sponsors have been taken.
Yep. So it's just a fun day. I know it's not ideal timing for CPAs, but you guys just got to get over it. But it's a great tournament. It's Stockdale puts on a wonderful event. Barbara Honda's involved. They donate the on hole 18. They put a car out there that you can win. Southwest Signs does all of our signage. Marcom Group does all our marketing. So all these sponsorships that Chris mentioned, obviously we want to make sure that the companies and businesses or individuals who do that get recognition for it. So we, Chris goes all out to make sure we have the best people in town, advertising and put together a good tournament.
No, it's perfect. I love events like this and love what you guys are doing and helping. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Chris, we always have 3 rapid fire questions. By the way, Kyle just interviewed me as part of a podcast of, interviewing the podcasters, right? So he just did me. So I got my own 3 rapid fire questions, and yours are different, by the way. But anyways, number 1, best quote to live by.
I'm a scheduler by trade and a manager. Mine is begin with the end in mind. That's kind of how I live. My work life and my home life is just from the minute you get up, you're thinking about, what you're going to do for the rest of the day. And that carries me over through every aspect of my life, whether it's planning for a trip or, what have you. Begin with the end in mind.
Yeah, no, I like that. Number 2, whiskey or wine?
I'm a wine guy, as Kyle knows. I like the reds. I like the cabs.
Yeah, right. And I know Kyle drinks a lot of, Kyle, are you a whiskey or wine guy?
I've wine.
Wine guy, huh?
I would say both if you probably asked that question. But if I had to choose one, it'd be for sure wine. Same with Chris.
I would not be wine. By the way, so. And then lastly, Dodgers or Giants fan?
Well, I'm an Angel fan. So
answer the question. Okay? stay focused here.
I like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick Dodgers or Giants,
I would pick Dodgers. Okay. More because I've been to a lot of Dodger games. My dad had season tickets to Dodgers when we were kids, so we went to a lot of Dodger games. I've probably been to more Dodger games than Angels games.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Dodgers fan. I'm a Giant, not a Giants fan. Let's just leave it at that. So since we're in public, well,
because you can have that's a great question, because you can have people who like the Angels, the Dodgers, and it's kind of like indifferent. But when it comes to Giants or Dodgers, there's no both, right?
Yeah, no,
it's one of the other. It's like Yankees or Red Sox, right?
There can be some real animosity between those two.
For sure.
It really can. Even here in Bakersfield, it blows my mind.
Exactly. I know.
You would think depending on which part of the state you lived in.
We're kind of right in the middle, though. I mean, we're obviously closer to LA geographically, but I mean, we're
in an hour and a half north of us in Fresno. It's all Giants.
Yes, it is.
It's there's a dividing line there. I don't know if it's Delano or if it's Visalia, but there's a line that it's
Giants country.
Yeah, big time.
Chris, thank you very much for coming in today. I'm excited that you were here to do this for us, and we'll look forward to seeing you at one of the events.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
This show has been brought to you by the Law Office of Kyle Jones, Troy Burton with the Lynn Company, CPA John Duffield, Scott Hansen Real Estate Lender, Broker and Investor, and Shannon Eckroth with the Eckroth Sales and Marketing Agency, LLC. You've been listening to the Our 2 Cents podcast. Check out the show notes for links and more information about the show. Also visit our website at our2centspodcast.com or catch us on Instagram at Our 2 Cents Podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe